You boys look like a weird heavy metal band.
Yes, we are band.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you play?
Symphonic post-apocalyptic reindeer grinding Christ abusing extreme war pagan Fennoscandic metal.
Right. Really interesting.
Whoops, sorry about that. What's up, everyone? DJ Anubis here with you on the Military Podcast with another movie review. This time doing Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. It's a 2026 film directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette. It's a sequel to Ready or Not, which came out a couple of years ago. It stars Samara Weaving again, Catherine Newton, Sarah Michelle Gellar, David Cronenberg, Elijah Wood, and Kevin Durand as well in this. Plot synopsis is, after surviving the Lodomus attempted sacrificial ritual, Grace Macaulay collapses outside the property and is taken to the hospital. She reunites with her younger sister, Faith, whom she has not spoken to since she left for college. Meanwhile, the council, an order of 6 elite families, are notified of the Lodomus demises and prepare to unite at the Danforth complex for another game. The head members include twin siblings Ursula and Titus Danforth, Wan Chen Xing, Vira Rajan, Ignacio Elcado, and Bill Wilkinson. So the first film, so everyone knows, like, I'm a pretty big Samara Weaving fan. I really enjoyed her in a movie called Mayhem, as well as the Babysitter films on Netflix. She's really, really good actress. Azrael came out last year or the year before. I can't remember if it's 2024 or 25, but Azrael was an incredible film. Just kind of went under the radar. Very, very good film. As far as Ready or Not, like, I liked it. I didn't really love it at the time. So it was still a good film, obviously. But when this came out, I wasn't sure how much I was going to feel about it because, again, kind of like lukewarm on the first film. But once I watched this, I liked it so much better. There's a lot more going on. Again, it's not like we haven't seen these kind of plots before, but, again, Samara really brings it on. Then you got, like, Sarah Michelle Gellar, who, I've missed her on film. She's a really, really good actress. She's able to she has a lot of versatility and how she presents her characters. And I really like what she does in this film. So basically, you have some other families that are tied to the Lodomus family that Grace was a part of, played by Samara Weaving. And she finds out they were trying to sacrifice her through a game called hide and seek when she got married to the son of that Lodomus family. So she ends up beating them at their own game, and they end up either killing each other or end up dying by her hand. But even at the end, she finds out, Grace does, that I don't want to say vampires because they don't eat anybody, but they're part of a satanic cult. And so in order to get their wealth and stay youthful, they have to sacrifice either brides or whatever. Usually it's brides at this point. So what ends up happening at the end of the first film is, like, the whole family blows up because they didn't get the sacrifice in time before the deadline the next morning. So this film basically just takes Grace, who, she's ends up basically coming out of the end of the last one. This is kind of like a flashback to what happened within the first one. But she ends up now having to face her sister, who they have like an estrangement. They don't get along, but she's also being questioned for murder of the Ladomas family because there's no bodies, there's no witnesses, so they just assume that she's the one that killed them. But then she's kidnapped and taken by the elites here, and Elijah Wood is kind of like the caretaker sorts. He's the one that runs like the mediator between all the families and brings them together. And so they have to hunt now. This is like to reclaim the seat, the top of the family. So the Ladomas were in control until they died. So now they're basically, these rest of these families are fighting for control of the head seat. So they go back and they're going to play the game again using Grace and her sister as the victims. And, I like a lot of what they're doing here. Again, Geller is fucking amazing in this. The only thing I would say is like a negative is like I didn't really like that Samara portrayed Grace as like weak in this, because you would think after everything she endured in the first film that she would just be a much more badass in this. She does kick ass obviously, but it's also like she's very fearful like she was in the first film. I thought, well, you're already kind of gotten through that part, so now this is like just you just have to man up and do your thing. And eventually they get to that point, but it's really just, again, there's really too much of the fear factor for me for Grace in this compared to what I thought she would be when they came into the film initially. But it's still, to me, it's still better than the first one. Like, I just think it's a much better film overall. The kills are fun. There's, of course, the dark comedy in there as well. And even, I forget who the guy is. Let me see if I can get his name real quick. Sean Hatsusi. He's been part of the faculty. Okay, I think I know who that is. Yeah. Wow, is he really that? Is that the dude from way back? Okay. Anyway, he plays the eldest Danforth Titus, and he does like a massively great job of going from kind of like a weak son to really being like a terror. Like, he's just like crazy. I'm not going to give too much away. This film is still pretty new, but between him and Ursula, played by Sarah Gellar, as their twins, they do a great job between the two of them in trying to win this game now to claim the house. And obviously their dad, who's played by David Cronenberg, is the one that kind of sets it up for them to go and win the seat, but you have to do it a certain way. You can't cheat. You can't kill the other families to get there, because again, you're all part of a satanic cult, and there's rules to be had. And Elijah Wood's the one that kind of keeps the rule book in check. He's actually quite good. Elijah's always been able to kind of do these weird horror films where he can be very subtle and weird about it. Like, obviously we know him as Frodo, but going back to the days of the faculty and stuff like that, he's just very good at doing these certain roles where he's just almost emotionless on how he does things. And I still came out of this film feeling that he's not just a lawyer. Like, there's something else at play here, and it's just me. And maybe if someone ever wants me to do a review with them and talk about it later, we can. But I kind of felt Elijah is a little bit more impactful than just a lawyer representing the Labelle, which is the cult itself. Catherine Newton as Faith. She did a good job in this as well. As they played sister between her and Grace, worked out very well. As far as like Kevin Durand, like, I was a little bit like, I love him as an actor. He's very good. And he could have done more in this film, but like, they really kind of took him out early, and I thought, wow, that's kind of shocking. Because I thought his character was fun already out the bat. So like, that's the one giveaway I'll give you here. But Overall, highly recommend this film. It's a lot of fun. Had a blast with it, much more than the first one. I give this one a 9 out of 10 for sure. Great film, a lot of fun. Check it out. It's streaming. I think it might be. No, it's probably on pay on Amazon right now to rent or something like that. I don't think it's in theaters anymore right now, but just a fun film, man. It's really good. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How did you feel about it? Are you going to check it out? Hit like and subscribe. See you next time on the Metal Time Radio Podcast.